afternoon. Ooh, that was loud. Sorry. Welcome to the next installment of Booze Chatter. Yeah. Here we go. Um, so got a few things to discuss. It's going to be about an hour and a half long, possibly. Maybe not. We'll have a quick peek and find out. So we've got a few things happening here, but I'm looking around, started a live video, and I have left my beer somewhere. I'm off to a great start, and I don't have a glass either. So, with that being said, let's grab a glass. Let's grab a beer. Let's get right down to it, shall we? It's good when you have a fridge and glasses down here. It makes it so much easier to travel back and forth. Right. So the beer that I have is one of the beers that was actually at the festival. Now, I really hope I'm not drinking the last one here because I don't think I've reviewed it yet. Oops. Oh, well. I'll check later to see if I have or not. We have from Twin Sails, it is on 3. It is a triple IPA. Not a double, but a triple IPA, coming in at 10.1% alcohol by volume. This beer is a beast. This beer has a lot of potential to it. And this beer looks, smells, and is beautiful. I've had this a few times. I actually had it at the festival, and I really got drunk off of it at the festival a couple of times. So I'm hoping that I reviewed it. I'll have to look through my videos. Oops. Smell is a nice little bit of citrus, a little bit of dankness, and you do have that hop profile. This is definitely one of the winners that I really enjoy. Yeah, nice and bitter. Yeah, it is clickbait. Welcome to YouTube. I'm learning how to do clickbait. What can you say? So beer patrol Cask name that was debatable. Clickbait. He's calling it clickbait. Yeah, I can't help it. It is clickbait. And I have to make you wait a little bit longer because, well, you know what? I want to get to the awards first. I want to get to who won, who for which product at the Penticton Festival. Now, this was the thing I went to last weekend. I've thrown up a couple of videos about it. I do have another video that I'm going to be putting up, but I've been asked to put up a video before that because I was reviewing a beer with with someone else, and I haven't done that yet. So that's going to be up a little bit later on today. For now, let's get to the awards, shall we? So at the Penticton Festival, people go, there is no gold, silver, bronze. There is just one piece of wood that these guys get when they win. So we're going to start off with the best wheat ale. Now, this was the winner for this one was from Moody Ales, and it was out of Port Moody, BC, and it's a Sublime Pineapple Hefeweizen. I don't remember having that myself, but you know what? I wanted to try it, and I didn't try it. I don't think I tried that one. There's a lot of beers that I did try, though. Next up, we have the best stout / porter. This was brought in by the guys at Untapped. They actually got from Montreal was a Pêche Mortel Imperial Espresso Stout. And I have to say I've had that one, and it is a gorgeous beer. And for the people who have not had it, you guys are missing out on this thing. So, as well, I'm going to do this so that you guys can follow along. I am reading from pretty much bottom to top because there's some other ones that I just want to get to last. I have not done the People's Choice ones yet. So from there, I do have the next one, which is Best Specialty IPA. Now, I thought this would be a specialty IPA. May have been in there, but it didn't win. However, it's Hit the Deck Hazy IPA from Fernie Brewing Company. I have actually had that one as well, and I do have to say that is actually a really good IPA. I may have to get it ordered for the store because I've had it. It's actually quite good. Not quite my style, but it's actually really good. Next up, we have the best specialty beer. This came out of Lighthouse, out of Victoria, BC, and it was the Tart Wild Ale with plum. Didn't have that one. Another one I didn't have. I should have. I had another one, Lighthouse one, but I didn't have that one. I had their cask. Sorry, I read that wrong. Night Watch Coffee Lager from Lighthouse was the best specialty beer. Wow, I've already spoiled what the best sour is. Um, but yeah, from it's the Night Watch Coffee Lager out of Lighthouse Brewing. I did have that one, and actually was really good. I can see why these guys are winning the awards. The best sour, and I went and spoiled that one, which is a tart wild ale with plum from Lupolo Brewing Company out of Vancouver, BC. Now, most of these are Canadian or BC breweries, being that it was a festival. Most of the breweries were from BC. There was one or two that were not. The best saison. I really wish I went to this brewery with the guys from the Fermentation Project, but I was in a lot of pain that day. I was supposed to be meeting them Thursday in Kelowna at go to BNA, but I did not. But the Pamela, the best saison from BNA Brewing Company, and I don't think I had that one. I may have. It's in my pictures. But I had one of the beers from BNA, and they actually have some good beers. I actually enjoyed it. It went down quickly. Okay, next up, the best Pilsner, Lager, or Kolsch. This one went to Los Moratos, Cerveza Negra from Bad Tattoo Brewing. I've had this a few times, and it is a delightful beer. I actually managed to swing by Bad Tattoo while I was there, and I had their pizza. For the people that say go for their pizza, seriously, go for their pizza. They're just a phenomenal pizza there. They have a really good pizza. All right. After that, we do have the best pale ale. This one went to a brewery out of my hometown, another one, and that would be the fashionably late Moon Underwater Brewery for the best pale ale. It's another beer I've actually had, and I can agree. It's a really good pale ale. It actually has some great great flavors to it. Has some wonderful things to it. The best IPA. This one went out to Port Moody, and it's Parkside Brewery. And I've had one or two of their beers. Actually, I had a collaboration because they're part of Brewers Row. And I've had some of their stuff, and it's Humans IPA. I don't remember having that one, but I was trying to steer away from IPAs overall because I was kind of getting a little bit tired of IPAs. So I was not really wanting to keep going on about that, but that's just me. The best fruit beer from Bomber Brewing out of Vancouver, BC was the Park Life Passion Fruit Ale. Had quite a few of those. And the tartness, the fruit, the passion fruit is just delightful in it if you have it fresh. The best cider. I forgot to have this cider, and I really wish I did because it was a hilarious name. It is from BC Tree Fruit Cider out of Kelowna, BC. It's called Dad Bod. I'm offended by that. I'm a father. I'm fat. Am I a dad bod? Probably. But I'm offended by that. No, I'm not. I don't care. Um, Now, the best dark amber dark ale comes from Crossroads Brewing out of Prince George, BC. That's right. This was a Cinders Red Rye. I didn't have the Crossroads. I thought it was a different one, but I kind of messed up. I was kind of messed up all weekend, anyways. And I missed out on that one. So I guess it was good. Now, best in class it was left blank. There was no best in class. I don't know why. Um, Now, the best in show. So this went to Lupolo Brewing Company, and this is where they pretty much look all over everything. They look at all the winners and they choose the best in show. And that was the Tart Wild Ale with plum. So the Tart won. So yeah, really, really good. Some great awards here. We do have the People's Choice Awards as well. So the best beer for the People's Choice Awards was a Blueberry Blast Kettle Sour from Dead Frog Brewery out of Aldergrove, BC. Didn't have that one. I had a different blueberry one, and it was absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful purple color, beautiful tartness to it, and it was really quite good. The best cider was Broken Letters Pears and Peaches Sparkling Cider from BC Tree Fruit Cider out of Kelowna, BC. Again, didn't have that. I had a different cider. There's a beautiful black currant cider that should have won, but it didn't. Best food was Brodo Chicken or Kitchen Chicken. Wow, out of Penticton, BC. I think I had them. I was near the end of the night. I was really drunk. I may have had them. Anyways, best label design. Dead Frog Brewery wins again with their Moscow Mule. They had a lot of different designs there. This was one of them as well. The Twin Sails was one of them. The On 3. I really do like that. It's simple. It's nice. It's got different colors. It's shiny. And it's actually a really good label. That's the one I chose, anyways. Best label design runner-up was Los Muertos Cerveza Negra from Bad Tattoo Brewing out of Penticton, BC. So, yeah, this event was a lot of fun. A lot of shenanigans to be had. Quick 2-day trip. Holy mackerel. So, yeah, it was one of those things that was really good. So, yeah, I actually really enjoyed going to it. I'm probably gonna go back next year. Hey, Rod J, how you doing? Sorry, just getting back to the comments here. I was kind of flipping back and forth to give off all these awards and say what it is. Now that I got that out of the way, should we talk about this cask that I saw at the festival? I put a Twitter question out there, and there was someone that made comment on another group about a cask that had, well, it could be classed as an inappropriate name. It really could. And, I got thinking about it. It was a very good festival. Oh my goodness. I got thinking about it, and there's a lot of people that were offended by this name. I can see why. I honestly can see why. I wonder if I can actually share the picture here. Give me 2 seconds to see if I can pull up the picture, and I will share the picture with you for a couple of seconds. Bear with me here. It was a very interesting picture to say the least. I didn't know what to think about it, but I posted it out there just to see what people would think. And it actually did get a lot of negative response. I was really shocked at it, but I'll share it with you here. Let me just pull up my controls to share, and we'll do just that in 1 second here. And hello, control room. Screen share. All right, so this is the cask I'm talking about. This is what pretty much caused a lot of issues. Yes, that name says 3 in the pink. Raspberry, blackberry, blueberry cask. This drew a lot of attention over the internet. It was one of those things that basically a lot of people were not happy about. They really did not like the name whatsoever. There we go. Let's do that. Now you can see it. So, yes, that one right there is an interesting name overall, if you ask me. It was a cask. It was a cask, and yeah, it drew a lot of heat for it. I can see why. I honestly can see why. Now, the thing is, it can, and as Rod J says, he can see it as being controversial, and I can too. I honestly can. I actually took that picture without even seeing what it was. I was taking pictures of different things, wandering around because I had 2 hours of doing things. I just cropped that down because I actually took a picture of the stand. Totally, I don't want to really name the actual brewery because of the fact that a lot of people didn't like it. And I don't know. I mean, it can be very controversial. The way I looked at it in the very beginning, because well, my head wasn't on straight. I was also drinking a bit. Was I was looking at it going, oh, 3 berries going into a cask probably made the thing pink. So yeah. But if that was the case, it should have said 3 to make it pink, or 3 berries to make it pink, just to get rid of that name. But no, they went 3 in the pink. People freaked out. They really did. They thought it was absolutely brutal of what they did. They thought it was not a nice name whatsoever. And yeah, okay, I can see that. I honestly can see that. And I actually got some comments back on my Twitter, which I'll share in just a quick second here. But yeah, it was a lot of people felt it was very demeaning. I know it wasn't your first thought. It was kind of my first thought, and it took me a second. It took me a second to go back and go, oh wait, hang on. Yeah, now I see it. Now I see it. But I wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't thinking of what the other one would have been, but it took me a bit. So let's see. Let's have a look at some of these comments that came up from that thing on Twitter. And like I said, a lot of them are absolutely correct. I'm not gonna deny that whatsoever. They're correct. It's actually got the most comments I've had on Twitter in a while. So one guy said, I brought it up before and it still stands. There are many successful breweries that don't resort to misogynist tactics. If you can't respect all of your potential customers, you can't be surprised when they stop buying. This is true. This is true. And I pointed out that there was also articles saying that we're running out of beer names. So, and it was a cask with berries in it. But that's me playing the devil's advocate. Now, one other person said it was cringy, and totally understood. Another person said your mind is in the gutter. Well, yeah, I think most of our minds was in the gutter for that. So Does it go back? Okay, so I'm just gonna go back to the comments here. Rod J, does it go back to part of the lowbrow high school branding issue that many see in the beer world? Maybe. And he also said, wonder why women seem to get hit with things like this in the beer world, despite being pretty much the creators of beer. Could have been Berrylicious or something, is another thing he said for the name. And he's absolutely right. It could have been Berrylicious. Could have been a lot of different names. It was a cask, a one of. They wouldn't be pulling it out there and just throwing it out there like that. I mean, it was a very rude name. So we're gonna go back to Twitter here and continue on. One person said, my 2 cents, it's disappointing. I get the trend for punny names and edgy labeling, but if your beer can't stand on its own, being sexist or misogynistic will not help your cause. Smalls Brewing put out a beer called Circumcision Ale. And the picture looked like a giant penis with pomegranates as balls. There's people that do this all the time. Susie, one of the people here said craft beer is full of beer bros who think they're funny and edgy and end up looking like bad amateurs. I can tolerate misogyny, but I have no patience for assholes who think they're comedians. No, that's fair. That's honestly fair. And it's like, and I said it's something that needs to be brought up and say it's their business. They can do what they like, and maybe it works well for them. But I don't want to police anyone. But man, and my eyes hurt from rolling them so much. It's true. Another person says, as a guy, I would probably chuckle. If I were a female brewer / beer drinker, probably not so much. A lot of these comments were from ladies out there, and totally respect all of their comments. And I put out a general question saying, without knowing who did it, what happens if you found out it was a female that did that? He said he'd be surprised for sure, but as a guy, I don't know if I would change my response, which is fair. I was throwing some general questions out there because I didn't put anything into it. I didn't say who it was. I didn't say which brewery it was. I didn't say anything else. I wanted to throw that name out there because, as someone who grew up with people like Dennis Leary, with people like Andrew Dice Clay, Robin Williams, Richard Pryor, let's see, Sam Kinison, all these comedians who had a big variety in their comic shows. They probably wouldn't make it as far as they did now as they did back then because times have changed. But that's who I grew up with. That's the comedic styles I grew up with, and it's weird seeing the world change so quickly. Another person put, you don't ever see jokes going the other way, targeting men as the butt of the joke. So women shouldn't have her sacrifice because of a few people lack creativity. I found a label out there called Pitch a Tent Pale Ale. I posted that. There's also a wine out there called Fat Bastard. I may take offense to that because I am a fat bastard. Or I just may buy it because I'm a fat bastard. There are some names that actually cater to joking on men. Not as many. I will fully admit that. Not as many, but there are a couple out there. When breweries choose tactics like this to sell beer, I'm disappointed that the comfort and safety of women is less important than a quick laugh. This is true. Why not Razabla Blue, or RBB, or Triple Berry, or the 3-Berry Brew, or Red, Black, and Blue Brew? I wouldn't order this based on the name. And that was totally fair as well. And yeah, the name, I didn't have it myself. I just walked by it. I made 2 casks today and managed to name them both non-offensive things as for every cask we've ever made at my brewery. And these are all totally legitimate things that have been put out there. So yeah, it's one of those things out there that, you know, I get it. It's you try to be funny and it can backfire. You throw it out there in a public place like a beer fest and it could backfire big time. It really can. This one, it kind of backfired, it kind of didn't. The only way it backfired was because it went into social media. Um, it was not asked to have their name changed. No one from the fest actually asked them to change it. Um, Nobody complained that I know of to the fest or to them. I did reach out to the brewery. I'm still waiting a response from them to see what they would say. They may throw something out there in public if they get more complaints about this. They may just leave it as is. I don't know. They may just let it disappear into the world. So, and Rod J, the market will always dictate what may be deemed acceptable. Look at some that have changed their names due to feedback. Yes, this is true. And I can. Humor is not an easy thing, asked Maxwell Starr. It's, yeah. Yeah, it's true. Um, it really isn't an easy thing at all. But, I mean, right next to them was 2 breweries that have thrown themselves into a political controversy. Boundary and Crannog. They have thrown themselves into a political controversy because of what's happened to them. They actually came out, well, at least Crannog came out with an Antifa flag, and they were displaying it proudly. But I mean, you look at sexism versus political, and sexism is going to be the one that's going to be coming out harsher than political messages. I didn't see any other casks or anything that had bad names like that. I saw a lot of great casks out there, and it was only for the one day. So, yeah, things are changing here, though, as some brewers are not now being invited to participate. They have labels deemed as controversial under certain standards. Yes, and actually I was talking to my boss about that. One being Belching Beaver. Belching Beaver has not been invited to certain events because of their name. Now, you think about it, you think Belching Beaver. Being a Canadian, all I see is this beaver belching. Pretty much that's all I see, is a beaver belching. I do not see how it could be condoned as a sexual response, but there's people out there that think that that is a horrible name. It is a beaver that belches, which can be condoned as a very sexual nature, because beaver is also a name for something else. But again, being Canadian, I was thinking, oh, Belching Beaver, where are these guys out of Canada? I found out they're from the States. And I thought that was an amazing name, because one of our main animals up here is the beaver. Not thinking anything of it. But down in the States, people are actually upset about their name. They're actually upset that the fact that there's something called a Belching Beaver out there. Schmaltz Brewery, I'm sure, has come into their own with some of their stuff. The Jubilation series. they have pretty much a lot of things that can be wrong with that name. Again, their cask that they had, circumcision or circumcision ale, and the way it was spelt is CIRCUM session ale. That is condoned as very controversial, but I wanted to have it. I wanted to try it. It was barrel aged too, so that was why. I mean, that right there is one of those names that can really come up as well. Let's see if I can pull it up here, because I'll show you the picture. There, I find it here. Oh, sure. Show me a small picture. Let's look for a bigger picture here. All right. So yeah, um, let me share this out again, and I will show you. That is one of the barrel aged. And if you ask me, that would have got a lot of problems if it was in any other things. A lot of people may not have liked that. I do like the hard hat for protection, though. I have to say that's kind of ingenious. But that could have been a bad one too. I mean, look at the picture. It looks like a giant phallic penis. But that's just me. Um, yeah. Oh, one of the Jesus beers can't be sold in some of the states. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of different things out there that can't be. I mean, the other one that I found was that other one. Let's see if I can find it. There we go. It's been retired, but it was out of the Sierra Nevada Beer Camp, a very popular beer box that you guys get down in the States. And I mean, that could be deemed as a bad thing as well. Right there. Pitch a tent. India Pale Ale. Yep. But it's a picture of a tent. That's all it is. But the name could mean something else. There's quite a few things out there that just, yeah. Yeah, okay. So Nova Scotia's Tuscarawas Falls had to change their name for the Hanging Oak Ale. There's that one there too. Jesus beer had to be changed for Pete's sake. I mean, yeah, even more Jesus. Come on. But it could be said, even more Jesus. There's a lot of names out there that deem inappropriate nowadays, and I get the whole things behind a lot of this stuff. Don't get me wrong, I totally understand where a lot of people are coming from, but at the same point in time, there's a lot of different beers out there that have some very special and very interesting names. This isn't the first time we've seen it, and it's been a topic for a long time. There's been a lot of different topics about this. It's just been, there's a lot of different things, but yeah, 3 in the pink was a little bit, that was a little bit over the line. But again, for someone like me who grew up with Andrew Dice Clay as a comedian, didn't quite dawn on me until afterwards, and I'm very sorry for that. But I mean, yeah, it's a horrible name because a lot of people thought of it as misogynistic and sexist. And I mean, if I ever start a brewery, I'm just gonna throw out a bunch of things that is male, bad names for males, just to see how people react almost. Yeah, some people still don't like Yellow Belly, even though it makes fun of the clan. I'm one of those people that actually had to take a second look at that one because of the fact that it had a white hood, eyes, and everything else like that. I actually had to have a look at that just to see. It was one of those ones where I was like, ooh, okay. This is kind of not appropriate. I don't know if I want to try that because it's kind of not appropriate. But telling the context behind it, I'm like, oh well, in that case, yeah, I don't mind that. That's a little bit better. I can understand this now. I like I said, I was one of those people that took it the wrong way, and I shouldn't have. I honestly shouldn't have taken it the wrong way, but I did. So because the way it looked, but it was completely different than it was looking. So it can be different. So um, and Rod J says it was a different time and it was done to push bounds when you think of Dice Clay, but even he had limits. That's true. He did. He really did. Um, so did Dennis Leary. He had his limits as well, and that's. But he had his own style of things. There's a lot of different. The humor out there has changed. The meanings out there has changed a lot too, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But someone who's old school like me, you kind of have to remember that it's not a good thing at times too. Um, yeah, let's see. Let's have a look here. Let me share this one as well. This is what Cranog and Boundary was. Now, I'm going to share another picture in a second here. But if you look up in this corner here, there's the Antifa flag. Down here, they've made a beer. It was called No Nazis Allowed. But they had to change the name of that. And it was presented at the beer fest. It was one of those things that was shown at the beer fest. Let's see. Let me just try and pull up another picture here because I think I have a better picture. Yes, there we go. And there's the picture there. Why an anti-Nazi beer? They went to explain why they made it an anti-Nazi beer. And yes, that is me drinking it. That is me drinking it for sure. It was a good beer. Not gonna lie, it was a good beer. It was interesting overall. But yeah, they put it out there of why did they make this beer. And there's a good reason behind it, and I'm not gonna get into it and read it, but it was something that happened with Boundary Bay, and they stepped up as well to help their buddies at Boundary Bay. I can supply the article a little bit later on down below and go from there. So, now back to the comments here. Leary was awesome too, by the way. Now wondering if I have to watch Animal Kingdom since he's joining the cast. Off topic, I know. I might actually have to watch it just because of that. But I haven't seen his latest shows either. Like all of them have been failing lately. We are Gen Xers, so we're used to pushing bounds. Did it taste like freedom? It tasted like a good brown ale is what it tastes like. So yes, freedom. Freedom that my liver was not going to have that night because I had a lot of beer. So It's there was a lot of different things out there that could have been and are controversial. It was a lot of stuff that you see that is just okay. People use things like this to share their to share their reasonings behind things, to push boundaries. um I mean, there's people out there that share their political bullshit and call people names, like and they don't care who you are just grouped in with that. um and that kind of stuff, yeah, just yeah, something special. But I mean, that's their business. That's what they want to do. That's how they want to do it. Then by all means, let them do it that way. If you don't like it, you don't have to drink it. If you like it, you know, whatever. I personally understand where a lot of these things come from, and I understand that there's a lot of stuff that goes on. I just there's some stuff that should not be done, and yeah, that whole three in the pink cask, little bit too much. Little bit too much. That went past the boundaries a little bit. I mean, if they said two in the pink, and if you don't know the rest of the line, you might want to look it up. Then yeah, that would totally be why. That would be big time no. I mean, three of the pink was just sort of okay. I had a friend back in 2011 go to the Comic Fest with a shirt that had Spock on it, and it said the original Shocker. And it had a picture of what the Shocker looks like. And she went up to some of the guys there, like Aaron Douglas, who was off of Battlestar Galactica. He loved it so much that he took a picture of it and put it on his Twitter. And she got Leonard Nimoy, who it was kind of based after his character off of Star Trek, to sign it. He was hesitant, but he signed it. And yeah, William Shatner saw it, and he signed it instantly. He laughed and signed it. It's, but I mean, that's now. Do we chastise them for laughing at that and enjoying it? When my friend brought it with her, and yes, I said her. She was wearing it. Um. So yeah, it's. I drank the brown note from Against the Grain just because I can't get past, or I haven't drank the brown note from Against the Grain just because I can't get past the imagery. Yeah, I'm kind of curious about that actually. Let's have a quick peek here. Oh, oh, all right, okay. Oh my God! Wow, wow. Okay, okay. All right. Well, you know what? Oh, come on. Just give me a second here. I am going to be finding it here. Okay, now I can see why. That, yeah, see, there, right there. Wow. All right, let's share this because I have to. Sorry, Rod, I'm sharing this out. That's why. I've never heard of this before. And yeah, right there. I just wow. Wow. That's impressive. And look down here. Fart. Uh-oh. Okay. All right. Brewed and bottled against green, Louisville, Kentucky. Um, and I'd read this, but yeah. Yep. All right. That's something that's very that's something else. All right. But see, I mean, and I can understand why you wouldn't want to drink that, but at the same point in time, I'd actually go and drink that. There is labels out there that appeal to me. Optimus Prime, that appealed to me right there because of the name alone. So yeah, but people love the beer that have had it. Yep, Optimus Prime was one thing that I saw and I had to have it. Even more Jesus, had to have it just because of the name. Molotov Cocktail, that one caught me by guard. I've never seen anything from Evil Twin, and the Molotov Cocktail I bought because of the name, because it says Molotov Cocktail. So I just there is a lot of things that it could deter people from drinking it. Like with Rajay, he can't drink it because of that image, and I can totally understand why. Um, and there's images out there that people would buy because of the imagery. There was, I mean, Outcast. Outcast has some names like the Forgetful Brewer and whatnot, but the labeling is beautiful on it. But I'm also getting a little bit off topic. We're not talking about a sexual name. So Rajay said he'll probably drink it at some point in time. Get it on draft so you don't have to see the actual picture, or get someone to buy it for you and tell you to drink it and then tell you afterwards what it is. That's one way of drinking it. I mean, arrogant bastard. I will have that. Dirty bastard. I saw the dirty bastard up here, and that was the first thing I bought. I didn't even care what style it was. I had to look it up afterwards and find out it was a Scotch ale. The name alone, dirty bastard. I bought it because you know what? I'm a dirty bastard. Uh, like the Molotov cocktail. Yeah, the Molotov cocktail is absolutely beautiful. I liked it. And I left my heavy Molotov cocktail with the boys in Penticton because I didn't want it anymore. I don't have people to drink it with, and I gave it to them to sort of, here you guys go. Thanks for coming out type thing, you know. Um, I mean, there's a lot of different things that catch that are catchy. They were trying to be catchy possibly, but they kind of failed at it for the three in the pink. Yeah, the names could have been something completely different. It could have been absolutely something different. And I've gone blurry. Here, hold on, get in there. There we go. But that's the thing. You have to take the good with the bad. This one was more bad than anything else, and I feel I'm sorry to the women out there that actually I shared it with, and they were really upset about that. I wanted to make a conversation, and I did. I wanted to put it out there because it needed to be asked and it needed to be said. There's a lot of different things, and I went searching afterwards for some names that would be offensive to men. There wasn't a lot of stuff, so having Rod J sit there and show that one off, that could be offensive to a lot of men out there. You have a bad night and something like that happens, you know. But there's a lot of more. I found a lot more offensive names directed to women than to men. Um, in beer, and that doesn't seem to be right. It really doesn't. I did a search for sexual names in beer. Not gonna lie, I actually did that, and there's a list that came up, and some of them were like pearl necklace and golden shower and a few other things as well, and it was more directed towards, yeah, a lot of the it was more directed in it was more directed improperly. I couldn't find much for males. The pitch tent was the biggest thing I really found, and the circumcision nail. So Rod J. Interesting note: we drink Guinness and Jameson at an Irish and as Irish car bombs, and people in Ireland find that name offensive due to reasons that I'm sure you understand why. Yes, I do, and I've actually been told that someone actually went into an Irish pub once and ordered that, and they got kicked out. They absolutely got kicked out, and I don't blame them for that. It's like you don't see me coming over to America and ordering a uh, a, a 911 shot or something like that, and and expecting to be looked at with happiness. And I can see that. I can totally see why. It's not something you should really do. Um, and Rob J again agreed, definitely more towards women, and it is. And this is why I love things like the Pink Boot Society. I am totally I have to go out and start having the beers because they're starting to come out. But the Pink Boot Society for one day has all the female brewers in Alberta come together and make um, a charity beer for the Pink Boots Society. And I've supported this. If you look back at my videos, I've supported this year in and year out because I feel it's a very good cause. And I've got to go out and support it again because there's some stuff there's some breweries out there that have it on tap already. And I really would like to go and get it because again, I support the Pink Boots Society like there's no tomorrow. I really do feel that in um, this male dominated industry that a lot of the females that are coming into it are actually having a tough time, but they're doing a great job getting themselves established in here. There are some amazing people out there, and the ladies out there that are brewmasters and owners of bars, pubs, and breweries out here in Alberta are some amazing people. There's some wonderful marketing people that really just strive to make sure that their breweries that they help out show a very sense of passion, compassion, and also diversity. It is just I love the fact that it is now no longer becoming a male dominated industry, that the ladies out there are having a passion in this because they really deserve to be in here as well. um, I love the fact that we see a lot of that here. What's in tank number 2, one of the head brewers over at Toolshed, she went and put it together and then didn't tell the owner what was in there, and it's become one of the best beers that has come out of that place in a couple of years. All their beers are great, obviously, but it's one of the best beers that have come out overall because it is really just a good beer. Like there's a lot of great people that do the stuff that are in this industry that deserve recognition for being in there. They really do, and it's amazing to see. So yes, when I see a name like Three in the Pink is a bad thing. It took me a bit, but it's a bad thing. I'm and yes, I grew up in an age where we pushed boundaries. We pushed bounds, we pushed a lot of stuff. And having that humor over the years and having my family having that humor over the years, it's kind of in me, so it just sort of goes in one ear and out the other. I was a sick little fuck teenager when I was back in the day. And I'm still a sick old man. I'm a dirty old man, is what I say. I am. I'm an absolute dirty old man. But that's just me. I can't help that. I'm a dirty old man that still respects the shit out of women. And thanks to women, we have beer, and respect should be shown in more in my opinion. And yes, and he has Pink Boots. Pink Boots is actually around the world. Okay, so Pink Boots Society is around the world, and it's a great cause. It's something that I support all the time because it is an amazing cause, and I totally respect the shit out of that too. I really do. Um, So yeah, I'm like I said, I'm a sick bastard. I can't help it. I've got a dirty humor. I've always had a dirty humor. Um, it's just who I am. I've kind of lightened up in my age, but in my 20s, I had a very sick humor. Uh, yeah, the most you hear out of people now is that's what he said, that's what she said. That's yeah, you know, and that could be condoned as a bad thing too. I'm still learning what's good and what's bad in this PC world, and it is just that we've become very PC in what we say, what we do, and everything else. We say the wrong thing and we get shit upon for it, even though it was not the right meaning, or it was the incorrect meaning, or it was something else. And it's a hard thing to go through. It's a hard thing to see. It's a hard thing to do. Um, I mean, it's a very tricky subject. And yes, it will always be a very tricky subject. There'll be people that will laugh at something like that. There'll be people that will be like, "Oh, I like that name. That's pretty good. That's really clever." And there'll be some people that go, "That's way over the line. Bad, bad." Hey, Redbeard. I mean, there's a lot of things out there that, like I said, could be condoned as a very bad thing, but it's also a learning curve. Um, if a brewery came out and said something wrong and they turned around and said, "We're sorry, we didn't mean to say that," or anything else like that, we're really apologetic for that. It's understandable. Iron Maiden. Let's look at Iron Maiden for a second here. They went and put out a um a T-shirt for their concert where it actually had the Canadian Olympic symbol on their jersey, and with Eddie skating down the ice all bloodied, and his blade was looking like a steel blade with blood all over it. The thing is they put that out without asking the Team Canada if they're allowed to use the symbol. They just went and used it. Later, they found out that Team Canada did not allow that. They immediately pulled it. And then they went and donated to Team Canada as an apology for putting that out there. I've got one of those T-shirts and is now put away because it's now an actual keepsake. But things like that happen all the time. We're like, oh shit, we're so sorry about that. We really didn't mean to. And this brewery really hasn't said much about this cask. They don't have to go and put it into any BC liquor boards or anything else because it's a cask. It's a one of. They don't have to claim the name. They don't have to put the name into a pool to say, is this okay? They just put it on there and went from there, thinking probably it would be okay. I mean, like I said, the first thing when I saw it was, oh, 3 berries, three in the pink. Okay, it made it. That made probably made the beer pink. Not thinking that three in the pink is a bad connotation. Three to make it pink, sure, no problem. But I do a lot of skip over rating at times. That's just me. So yeah, I mean there is some bad names out there. This one was one of them. And I don't think that it's gonna go quietly. Well, it will go quietly because no one's really said anything except for me now, and me putting it on Twitter and seeing it in social media. But yeah, actually, I will be trying to frame and display the T-shirt. I just got to go out and buy myself a shadow box for it. I want to do that, so I have not worn it since I found out it was discontinued. It is a collector's item for sure. Totally a collector's item. Um, but yeah, again, I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Coming from an old school background where we pushed boundaries and stuff, I didn't really think of it, but also being male, I didn't really think of it. So again, to the ladies out there, I'm very sorry. Um, my brain didn't comprehend how bad it could really sound because you guys are trying to you know what I'm saying. I've already said it. I'm not going to say it again. Again, I will say sorry. But that being said, I've got a few things coming up. I will be going to the Calgary Comic Expo, and I will be filming some of that stuff coming up. There is the Beer Fest coming up in Calgary from May 4th and 5th. I cannot make it. This is going to be the first year out of 5 years I will not be able to make it. I made it last year as I was part of media, but I will not be able to make it. I have not been invited back to be media yet, or I have not thrown my name out there to say, hey, do you mind if I get a media pass? I also do have my kids who are underage, and I cannot take them to it. There's going to be some great beers out there. I've been hearing some of the stuff that's coming out that's going to be showcased there. One of the new breweries is going to be showcasing their beer out there, which is going to be amazing. There's going to be some new stuff out of Alberta that are coming in, and it's just going to be phenomenal to see. I wish I could go, but again, I don't think I can afford to go. For one, last week kind of cost me a lot. I had a bit of a difficult time. I had a great time, but I had a bit of a difficult time as before I left, I twisted my ankle. Mere minutes before leaving for the airport, and I had to drive. So it was a hobbling good time. And I'm short enough to call myself a hobbit, so I get to hobble and oh, wait, that might be a bad thing. Sorry to the hobbits out there that I may have insulted. So, I've got some stuff coming up, but yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts in it in the comments below. For the people that have joined me in chat, thank you very much. Do look over all the stuff. It is an hour long, and I'm very sorry for that. But there is some interesting stuff that I did say about some of the labeling and whatnot, and I did show what's going on. Oh yeah, I twisted my ankle hardcore. Um, it was not a pretty sight. In fact, I can show a picture of how swollen my foot was if you really want me to. I went out like we had snow the night before, and I went out to my vehicle for the last time. I had everything all packed up. I had a huge duffel bag, I had a backpack, I had my laptop all on the car ready to go. And as I took that step down to my vehicle, I slipped and I went into a goalie save type thing where one of my foot went underneath me and I heard a tear. So it was one of those ones where I was like, rip. I'm like, oh, shit. So thankfully it was my left leg because I would not have been able to drive myself to the airport. But trying to get around in the airport with a huge duffel bag and trying to get myself on the plane, which was like a propeller plane, and I had that much room for my feet. My left leg was against the window, and it was a little sore. I know. Oh yeah, that's true. We rarely see those when it comes to the Canucks and Sabres. No, we see more of golf swings. That's what we see instead of goalie saves. So it was actually one of those tough things to watch. And I screamed really loudly. My neighbor came out, asked me if I was okay, and I pretty much hobbled my ass to the car and got in and drove away and said yes, I'm fine. But iced the fuck out of it when I got to the Airbnb, and I drank enough on Friday that basically there was no pain. Absolutely no pain. And if you watch my 2-minute video, you'll see how much I actually had to drink. There was a lot there Friday and Saturday, and there was pretty much no pain, no gain. And my Airbnb had stairs going down it, so it was not easy. And they're brand new stairs, so there's no railing on the first part. And bringing a great big duffel bag while hobbling down the stairs, yeah, I was a hobbling hobbit. So it was kind of funny to watch, but at the same point in time, it was kind of harsh. I was actually offered a wheelchair when I got to the airport, and I declined it. Uh, so, oh yeah, I went to great lengths of beer for 4 ounce samples at the festival. But I also had an industrial pass where for 2 hours I could drink whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted for 2 hours for free at that thing. And I did just that. I had 2 hours where I had a nice little 5 ounce glass and I filled that fucker a lot. There was a lot there. So, but the Airbnb was a hobble away and a hobble back, which was nice. And the guys that were with me were really kind and helped me out. Um, the fermentation project, cheers to those guys for actually bearing with me, helping me out, get stuff up and down the stairs at times, um, letting me hobble around at my pace while they were wandering around. It was a good time. I mean, I really had a lot of fun. I am definitely going back next year because it was amazing. It really was amazing, and I loved it. It was a small venue, great people. People recognized me. I walk up and there was a VIP party afterwards, and I walk up to get a free beer, and they look at me and like, "I know you. You're from Booze Reviews. I watch your shit all the time." So if you're watching this, cheers. Thank you for actually pointing me out and saying hi. That was awesome. Uh, I had some great fun with people I knew. I had some great fun out there, and I like seriously. I'm totally going back again. It was total respect out there. It was a nice private sort of smaller venue. So and yeah, it was a great time. I'm glad I went, and I'm glad I'm going to be going again next year. I'm saving up for that. That's one thing I am saving up for. I'm hoping going to be saving up for another camera as well for my photography. I got my thing back this year, and I think I might be going full frame. I'm going to try and see about going into a full frame camera. My my 3/4 is doing a great job, but I want to try and jump up to a full frame so I can actually take some great photos in a full frame, and I might even go to a Sony um, A7 III. I'm looking at that. Um, I would love to look at a Canon, but I'm kind of leaning towards the Sony. I got to play with it a little bit while I was actually at the festival too. I got to look at it. And there's some great things with it. I love my G85. Don't get me wrong, but my Sony, I'm actually really leaning towards the Sony A3. Price is a little costly, but again, I'm sort of looking at this as it's going to be a business expense. I could probably look at doing something with that. So I might actually start filming on a Sony A7 III. Who knows? Um, that would be a lot of fun to do. I know, honestly, I really want to look at possibly renting that out and testing it and taking it out for a test drive. But to go from there, I other than that, there's a few things coming up at the end of May. Tonight I'll be taking pictures at the Beer Vault because they do have an event going on, and it is for the Alberta beers. So they're going to be showcasing some great Alberta beers with a beer judge and the Casual Libationists. If you haven't seen his show, check him out on YouTube. Great show. He's kind of got an interesting style. It's kind of a BuzzFeed sort of style, but it's a lot of fun to watch. And then from there, pretty much you're going to see more reviews. I got 2 reviews coming up that I have done with Patrick from Outcast. One of them is from I did a beer out of Florida, and holy crap, that beer was amazing. Shouldn't have been aged as long as it did, but it was still amazing nonetheless. I really enjoyed it, and it was absolutely awesome, and I can't wait to showcase that as well. And I'm showcasing one of his beers from Outcast that has already been sold out. Oops. But, you know, when you get tied up with a lot of things, you kind of get tied up with throwing up 2-minute videos over someone else's stuff, and that was kind of a stupid move, but I only have so many hours in the day. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Do you think that 3 in the Pink? Thank you, Rajay. We'll talk to you real soon. Do you think that 3 in the Pink was a bad name? I would love to hear your comments down below. Till next time, folks, I am PK. I will probably be going live with a hockey game or two, and we will see you real soon. Have a good night and take care.